Welcome everybody, my name is MrLlama, and today I am bringing you a TVT on Antiga Shipyard. This is going to be between our blue Terran Romulox and our red Terran fitzgen. So I think I have actually casted one of fitzgen's games before. I can't remember, but the name does sound very familiar. Maybe I have played him or something like that. Though he is a platinum player, I believe, so this should be platinum versus platinum. And TVT cross positions, so very possible that this game leads to a little bit more macro style here. Possibly see some sort of one racks expand or something along those lines, as that is a very good build for getting out the macro. And Banshee's also possible, as if you look back here, so much open airspace around the outside of this map, you can just float in. And back here, I think it would be able to get hit by Marines, but if you just move up right here, you could go between the natural and the main very easily, and then there is a ton of space up here to hide your Banshees or anything like that, or even drops, so we will have to see. And right now, both players just getting down those barracks, and Romulox choosing to go for the wall-in, while fitzgen is not. In TVT, of course, or any matchup except for versus Zerg, where you generally almost always want to wall in. A few players don't, but most players do there. But yeah, so in TVT, or like I was saying, any matchup, sorry, walling in, just kind of a personal preference. It is good for stopping those early sort of cheese builds. So if your opponent is going to throw down, I don't know, if he's going to throw down some sort of like 2 racks over here, which actually if you throw them down right here, your opponent will not scout them when he runs out. So I have seen that before a lot of times, where players will throw down like 2 gateways or 2 rip barracks right over here and just go in and get their just charge in with those zealots. And if your opponent doesn't have it walled off, if you do, of course, you can just drop Marines right here, repair, and you basically win because your opponent can't break that down, and you can just hold them off right there completely. But fitzgen. Yeah, but of course, if you do have this wall up and somebody comes in with void rays, or simply if they just get a siege outside of your natural, so if they can somehow get siege tanks in right over here and Marines, they'll just pick away at these buildings right here. They'll either kill this racks or force it to lift, and they'll kill both of these supply depots, which can just be annoying and costly. So I've been in both situations where I've stopped things from walling off, or I guess all situations. I've walled off and stopped things from happening. I haven't walled off and I've had a 2-gate run into my base, or an SCV, Marine all in, something like that run in. I've had walls where void rays, things like that, tanks get siege up and destroy it. And of course walls where nothing happens and you're fine and all that stuff. So whatever all those possibilities are. But yeah, so both players going for that 1x expand, and they did scout each other. One of them did, at least. Fitzgen did scout his opponent. So Romulox just scouting now with that SCV, extremely late. But this map, very good for that 1x expand, as this ramp is not too difficult to hold. So it is pretty small. It's not as quite as small as Shakir is, which is about that big, I would say. But it's still a pretty small ramp. So pretty easy to hold, and you can spread out these Marines like this, and if Hellions try and poke up here, you can still kill off the Hellions just if you keep this split like this, as they can only fire at 1 Marine each. So it looks like both players going to lose their scouting SCVs. They have taken those expansions, and we do see double gas going down now for fitzgen. Very similar builds here by both players. 3 racks right now. It looks like fitzgen just investing a little bit more in the gas, and getting that tech lab down a little bit earlier as well. So fitzgen going for a little bit stronger bio, getting reactors, going for possibly a little earlier push. We'll see if he picks up stim here when he does reach 100 gas. I would imagine that would be coming down pretty soon as he'd build that tech lab. But he's also getting an engineering base, so going to be going for those early upgrades. And with that second gas right there that he did take, you would just imagine that he would get upgrades with that. And actually throwing down a factory with that 100 gas instead of stim. So I'm not quite sure that this tech lab here is placed at the right time, and possibly if you are fitzgen, maybe think about when you're going to get that tech lab, because adding it on right there, not building any marauders, not making or not getting any upgrade out of it like that, it's just kind of a waste. So he wastes the time of not being able to pump marines out of his barracks while it's building, but then also the time of it just sitting there and the gas and cost of that tech lab. So just something to think about. But over here we do have Romulox getting his reactor starport going to be coming out pretty soon. So going to get those medevacs right there, going for drop play. And it looks like the same thing by fitzgen. So fitzgen did fall a little bit behind in tech there, despite getting that early gas, as he did choose to pop down those 2 reactors, that tech lab, and the engineering bay to start his +1, which has started right now. So Romulox deciding that he wants to get a little bit earlier drop, which he will. And how is the units looking? Yes, that would make sense. Romulox has a couple more marines, as he was mining minerals for a little bit longer than his opponent, since his opponent did have those gas. So fitzgen taking yet another gas here, and has not switched yet. There we go, just going to be switching now. So getting those medevacs out a little bit later, and it's possible he produces Vikings if he does get some sort of scan on his opponent. So he just sees the factory going down there, so it has been a little bit late, but it's possible he could get that factory, or get those Vikings out. No, he's choosing medevacs, but sometimes you get those Vikings and you can snipe off some drops, but that's only, of course, if you see your opponent is going for those medevacs as well. So I have seen that used before. 1-2 Vikings, just run around the map, be a little annoying with them. You can even come in and drop and kill off a few SCVs with them back here. And come on, Mr. SCV, go back to mining. So he's just taking a work break. He's hiding behind the depot, so none of the other SCVs see what he's doing there. It looks like fitzgen going to go ahead and go for a push. In the meantime, though, we have a drop by Romulox coming out around the side here. So fitzgen not going to have much at all to deal with this. He just started stim a little bit ago, so both players with that stim. fitzgen going to have that +1 though over his opponent pretty soon, but his army is stuck in the middle of the map. He continues to push his army out, so nothing will be back at home to defend against this drop. And how much damage will this drop do? We'll have to see. We'll have to see if fitzgen also sees that sees this and just decides to push for some sort of base race, as he knows his opponent's forces are split in half. So the drop going to go down right now, and he's going to just start tearing away at SCVs. Mule going to go down possibly. Yes, so lots of SCV kills right there, 12 killed, and he's going to start focusing down the hatch, and it looks like, or not the hatch, the CC. This is TVT, not TVZ, and here we go. So the Marine's going to be pulled back. It looks like he's going to lose this command center though, so huge loss there for fitzgen, and only 2 Marines lost for Romulox. So if you want to talk about an efficient trade right there, 1,000 or so, 1,100 versus 100 minerals just lost right there. So that puts Romulox in a better position. And if you look at the harvester count, 44 to 39. So despite killing more, fitzgen has been doing better in his SCV production, despite losing 12 there. But now that he's down to CC, this is going to be very easy for Romulox to clean up if he wishes, or get ahead, I should say, not clean up, get ahead in harvesters. As fitzgen just working on one base, but fitzgen going for an all-in, pulling all his SCVs. He sees that Romulox is coming in, so he knows that his forces are split. There's still a lot of Marines at the front, though, so we're going to have to see what exactly fitzgen can do. It looks like he's just going to wait for these SCVs, and he did build another CC there, but he's going to go ahead and float it away. Still plenty of money left, so we'll have to see if he continues to build here. If he builds with all of this, he could build enough units to defend his main, but it looks like he's just going to drop into his opponent's main. But the SCVs are just charging in, and they're going to suicide themselves. So fitzgen, with a bunch of miss micro right there, loses all of his SCVs for absolutely nothing. So fitzgen now in a terrible position. With that charge, looks like he's going to try and do some damage, so take out all of these CCs right here. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. He has a lot of Marines to deal with this. Both players have the +1 upgrade. 1-1 just finishing right about now, so a little bit late I would have to say, but it looks like fitzgen with the superior medevac count going to be able to actually clean this up, and Marine somehow pushed into the front there and were able to do enough damage because Romulox has his forces all split, so we'll have to see if he continues making units. Yes, he is, so he's going to go ahead and keep producing, but he has 4 SCVs to the 31 here, but no CC is left for Romulox, so what looked like an easy win for Romulox right there, he loses it. It looks like to all of this, he's going to go ahead and start building another SCV, but he's going to be losing a lot of these structures right here. The Marine force does come in though, and so it's going to start tearing away with that medevac support. It's going to clean that up pretty easily, able to still have 5 Marines, but that's not enough to deal with what is in the base right here, as fitzgen with the superior army count still. Romulox completely has all of his supply left in those SCVs are there, which cannot mine for another 60 seconds. So, geez, we're going to have to see if fitzgen does spot this and does move. And wow, Romulox throwing down an expansion up here. So, Romulox now showing his SCVs. I'm not sure that was the best choice, as fitzgen's just going to chase them down, start tearing away at these SCVs, able to slowly pick away over and over, and more Marines come in, and they're going to be able to snipe off a lot of these SCVs, almost all of them to go down, and Romulox GG's out of the game. So, wow, what a great play by fitzgen. I did not think he had it. I want to go back to those Marines pushing up the front and see what happened there. So let's get the SCVs out. Him retreating. So SCVs have just suicided. So okay, so that was all the Marine forces that he had right there pooling back into the base. So he had all these bunkers right here that he could have filled to stay defended, but this choke right here was just brutal. Look how many Marines are not attacking. There is just no Marines attacking in that. If Romulox could have had all those Marines attacking, he probably could have cleaned that up. So brutal loss right there for Romulox, but nice base trade by fitzgen, able to push in, and even with the loss of all his SCVs at the front, able to get superior position in the main, had the upgrade advantage with the 1-1, and GG, well played, MrLlama out.